It was a seminal moment across the country.
I've heard not guilty so many times, so like my mind was like, did I just... Hold on, did I hear that right?
From Atlanta,
I cried, tears of joy, tears of joy.
To Boston.
This is a moment in history, right? That, so many people I hope look back on as a, a catalyst for good things to happen.
To Houston, where George Floyd grew up.
Something had to happen to make him understand that, man, you're not above the law.
Minutes before the verdict, outside the courthouse in Minneapolis, Bree Graham told us she couldn't even watch the trial.
It's been the constant trauma and reliving it over and over and over again, and we need to see some justice to feel like we're going somewhere.
So she and others crowded around their cell phones, struggling to hear the jury's decision. And then a wave of relief sliced through the anxiety that had been tightening for almost a year. Former officer Derek Chauvin guilty on all 3 counts.
I can't believe it. There's poetry in the fact that he couldn't breathe, and it feels like we just got a breath of fresh air. Like for the first time, it feels like we can breathe.
Throughout this trial, both the prosecution and the defense had insisted that the case was about the actions of one police officer. But many in this crowd thought it was about much more than that.
I was 11 years old when Chauvin Martin was murdered, and he didn't get justice. I grew up seeing my people not get justice, and so I was scared it was just going to be the same story over and over. So for us to finally have our first victory, it's crazy.
A victory that ricocheted around the world. In Louisville, a city rocked by the death of Breonna Taylor, what started as relief has now turned to reflection.
I'm so surprised I ran up here. I'm shocked. I don't even, is it true though?
It's true. Guilty
okay.
on all 3 counts.
Guilty on all 3 counts, as it should be. America got it right for once.
Brother King once said, it's political, we live in our faith, and prayers, we live under the law. Emmett Till was killed in 1955. Jurors out for an hour. Came back, why was so short? Said, well, we had to get soft drink and smoke a cigarette. That's why it was so short. Well, Rayner asked the juror, why did you convict the killer? You know who he was. Brag about it, he protected his wife. He said, I could not imagine going to jail for killing a nigger. That was 55 years, 1955, now it's 2021. Things are changing. Where the Mississippi River started from now, it's time for a fundamental change. I want to thank, when we lost Johnny Cochran, we thought we lost it all, Johnny Cochran, but God sent Ben Crump. Ben, we thank you so much.
Thank you, Ray.
I do want to say that when the thing first jumped off and Ben was killed, George was killed, Alan Flynn went and met Mr. Freeman, who had the case. He believed it couldn't happen. He believed it had never happened before. We urged him to try Lieutenant Governor, Attorney General Keith Ellison. Keith took the case and had the false charge the first day. He had to put together the legal team, tested the jurors. The whole process led by Keith Ellison. The state is 3% African American. Keith Ellison. 1% Samoan, African American congresswoman. It's not closed. Minnesota, state with great proud traditions, Brother Ben.
Yes, sir.
Sons of light, but the struggle is not just about black and white, it's about wrong and right. There must be a massive protest march by white citizens of the state who stand for justice and jobs. This is the state of Hubert Humphrey, who led the struggle for public accommodation in '64. This is the state of McCarthy, the struggle for peace. This is the state of those who fought down through the years. When I think about Omar being the Congress 1% Samoan, and she's the Attorney General state 3% black, there are some people in this state been silent too long, must step and speak back and fight back. It's time for change. I want to express my thanks to all of you who come today, the media who covered this story. And it's not people on the team of Keith are black and white. And we must learn to live together as brothers and not die apart. So we must learn to live together and not die apart. We will live together. I want to express my thanks to Moriel, Urban League, and all those who come together today, because we're going to keep marching. Thursday is the funeral for Brother Wright. And we relieved, but we can't celebrate because the killings keep coming. I hope that the case today has broken the backbone of legal lynching. This case should break the backbone of legal lynching. They've lynched us with the law. We're changing that. Thank you very much.